this. It's gonna start recording, and it's
This
gonna start.
meeting is being recorded.
Cool, that's that. And then I'm gonna do this. Cool. So yeah, man. Just get this started. Um, just tell everybody who you are, what you do. Just give a little bit of backstory about just yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Woodlin. Um, before I learned anything about this tech industry or this tech space, I was an engineer, but more so on the mechanical process side. So that's pretty much what I went to school for. And I also do real estate on the side as well.
Okay. Can you what kind of motivated you to like kind of even be interested in learning about cloud?
A lot of different things actually. The two biggest I would say are wanting to increase my leverage, right? When it comes to money and time. So those are the two things that I really wanted to have more of so that I can, just pursue other endeavors that I have, right? In addition to just being able to, take care of myself more, take care of, people that I love more. So those two reasons are the biggest motivated factors as to why I wanted to learn as much about the cloud as possible and to break into the tech industry.
Okay. And so what was your state, like what was your situation before? I know you talked about time and money. Um, and you mentioned you were a mechanical engineer. I'm pretty sure they do well. But, what was the state of your career before you started working with us? And how is it right now in terms of, just getting your first offer letter as a cloud engineer?
Yeah, man, they do well, right? But you have to take into consideration the amount of time that you're putting into projects that you're working on. Sometimes you feel as though the amount of work that you're putting into it's not worth the compensation that you're receiving, right? And then also on top of that, again, when you're trying to focus on other things outside of work as well, I didn't have as much time to do that, right? So when it comes to business, right, and as you know, you have to be consistent.
Mhm.
You have to pour a certain amount of money into either marketing, sales, a lot of that stuff. I don't want to dive into the details, right? But you definitely need consistency, you need time, and you need money. And without those two things, it's very hard to do that, right? So I would say my current state was, working long hours, not getting paid as much as I deserved, and not being able to remain consistent in my business.
Okay. And so how do you feel like cloud engineering has will help you in terms of, achieving the goals that you set for yourself, like personally, business wise, all that stuff?
Yeah, I think it's gonna help me out tremendously, right? Just being able to work from home now literally has increased the amount of hours that I have
Mhm.
working on my business and other personal things. I've also been able to increase my income by like, a substantial amount.
Mhm.
All right. So being able to, we've had conversations where, freeing up my time was the most important thing to me, not necessarily income, but, what I'm able to obtain in this industry, I felt like I would have been shooting myself in the foot or not maximizing my potential by not going after the income as well. So being able to increase my leverage in both areas it's amazing, man. It's amazing. So I can already see moving forward, um, all the changes that I'll be able to make and how much success I'm going to be able to have as well.
Okay. Okay. So essentially right now you're saying like you're making more money and you have more time, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And how did we help you achieve that success?
Man, what didn't you do? I would say your program, man. Your program is now keep in mind, right? We met at a networking event. So I'm pretty familiar with coaching programs. I've been a part of a few myself, and I can honestly say that your program is high quality, man. It's definitely top notch, and your program is still continuing to grow, right? So I can't even imagine where it's going to be
Mhm.
2 years from now, 5 years from now, right? So especially with the amount of success that you're already having with your students, and I'm obviously a living proof of that, right?
Mhm.
So I would say your program is definitely the number one reason why I am in my current situation.
Okay.
And without it, I would probably be in the hamster wheel that I was in before.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I always tell people like, I didn't do anything. I just gave as. But everyone that does see success, you guys put in the work, the consistency, the discipline. And so I want to give recognition and kudos to you and everyone that's been successful. It's really just showing you the correct roadmap, no fluff, like what you need to do step by step. I also wanted to ask you like how how easy do you think it is to understand the stuff that I teach, the way that I teach it? Like, what's like the youngest age you think someone can come in here, learn what I teach and be successful? Like actually, be successful learning the skill.
That's a really good question. I would say, I don't consider myself the sharpest tool in the toolbox, right? I think the concepts can be like, let's say if I was trying to learn it on my own, right, I would have some difficulty, right? Because there's so many different tools and services that you have to know. You have to, you have to understand, you have to know how to use them, you have to know how they all work together, right? And I think your program does a great job of removing all those complexities, right? You structure in a way to make it very simple to understand, right? So I think the step-by-step approach that you have will make it easy for, I mean, I think it's easy for anyone to understand. You have to get through it, you know, just understanding it the way you have it laid out. I mean, no one should have any issues getting through the program and understanding it.
Okay, okay. You think a fifth grader can go through this and be understand it?
Yes.
Also, bro,
Uh, yeah, for sure. Now, it all depends on that fifth grader having the work ethic and the grind required, right, to be successful. But as far as understanding everything that's required, shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, so if someone was like interested and they've already made the commitment themselves to like, hey, this is something that I want, um, do you feel like, if they were to put in the commitment, the time, the consistency, do you honestly feel like they would be successful?
Oh, 1000%. It's almost impossible not to be successful, especially with all of the additional resources and services that you have in your program, right? So it's it's either if you don't succeed, it's your own fault,
Oh,
right? It's really your own fault if you don't succeed, right? Um, and the one advice I would give to future students is that you have to have the mindset of wanting to be above average,
mm, mm,
right? So, for example, if everyone like if the instruction is to set aside 2 hours every day to make sure that you're successful, I'm going to set aside 4 hours every day, right? Because I want to almost guarantee that I succeed, right? So that would be my biggest tip to anyone wanting to receive success and result as quickly as possible, right? Do more than the normal, right? Do more than the average person, right? Because you really got to want it. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's basically what I did, right? As I put in 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day. There's been times where I was troubleshooting, debugging, and I didn't want to go to sleep until I figured it out, right? So I was staying up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, knowing that I have to go to work at 7. Right? So coffee definitely became my best friend.
okay.
Right? So that would be my biggest advice, man. Just being consistent and trying your best to go above and beyond as well.
Okay, above average. And so you feel like if someone has, the same work ethic, discipline, they would be successful just like you?
1000%.
And so what would you think, you know, would be a reason why they don't get the same results? Would it be like the market's fault? Because even you got a job right now and people say they can't get jobs in the market, which is true, but we do have a specific way to, almost I won't say guarantee, but the likelihood of getting a job is has increased a lot. But, you know, if someone wasn't able to see success, what do you think would be the main reason why they're just not successful?
I'd say two things. In the economy that we're in today, right? There's so many ways to make money, right? Um, I think what happens is, when you have someone that's as good as yourself, that makes it look easy, right? Right. People want to be successful, right? People want to be in a good financial position. And I think for some people it sounds good to say that they want to accomplish certain things, but it's really not inside of them.
Mm,
I was saying it's really not inside of them. So I think the only reason someone would not be successful is because they don't want it as bad as they think they do.
yeah, yeah.
Right? They don't want it as bad as they think they do. I was so tired of my situation that not only I went above and beyond, I had faith,
Mm,
right? I had faith. I knew that it doesn't matter how long it was going to take. I knew that God was going to make sure that I get an offer and that I was going to change my situation. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, right? With anything, you do have doubts, right? I mean, when you're in school, you had doubts. I didn't even know if I was going to get my engineering degree when I was in school, right? But I had faith. I continued grinding, stay consistent, and I ended up starting that career, right? I just applied the same thing to your program, going above and beyond, working as hard as I could, and I ended up getting an offer and being one of your successful students.
yes, sir. How much was the offer?
140.
Okay. And did you have any tech experience before this?
Zero. And we joke around all the time. When we first met, I didn't even know what the cloud was.
Yeah,
I thought when you said the cloud, I was thinking of iCloud, like Apple. I was like, oh, you're an engineer for Apple. You must be doing very well, right?
was doing well for yourself.
I don't know. That was the only time I ever heard the word cloud, right? So, and I don't have any friends in tech. Majority of all my friends don't know what the cloud is either, right? So I'm coming from a background where the IT field, everything in the cloud is pretty much non-existent. Like we don't even know what it is, right? So going through your program, learning everything again, the way you have it structured, the way you have the material laid out for us. It's everything just clicked easily, and as soon as I put in the work, good things started to happen.
Okay. Okay. So you don't have any certifications, no tech background either. Just confirm.
No tech ID, no tech degree, no tech experience, and no certifications.
Okay. And do you feel like your life has changed forever by having the skill?
Forever. It's definitely changed forever. Okay. Okay. What is and I see why you're passionate about teaching it to others, man. I've already told maybe like two of my closest friends, some of my family members about the change that I've made, and they're all excited. They're all like, man, what's this cloud thing about? I want to learn about this too, right? I'm like, listen, man, I know a guy named Tayo. He has a very, very, very successful program. You'll be in great hands.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna hit when you get that check. You're gonna be like, what? I said, bro, I can't even spend all this money. I got to Miami. Guess I'm actually going to Miami a lot.
Listen, man, I completed all the HR forms today. When I got to the direct deposit part, I made sure to enter the information accurately.
It's 8-2, three, five.
Exactly.
And so, um, you you were in a situation where you felt like you were kind of stuck, you needed more time, you needed a little bit more money too as well to invest into, real estate. And so now you went through the process of taking a chance, committing yourself, because it really is a commitment to do something for a period of time, just like with anything, like working out. And now you actually have the skill, but the proof of the pudding is, proof in the pudding is the offer letter. And so, what would you do differently if you could go back and talk to past Woodland when joining the program or before joining?
That's a really good question. I would say I would put more time into the interview prep,
Mm,
right? There's a method that you guys describe in your program. We'll just call it the rule of 100, right? And I would say, because me, I'm the type of person, man. I like to go hard, full force. All right. So even before I even, did the rule of 100, I was already, getting the interviews. I was winging it, right? And I was because that's what I'm used to doing, right? But I understood that this is a new industry, a new space, new experience. My old way of doing things is not gonna work, right?
mm,
So I have to you know, follow the process wholeheartedly, right? Fully, right? And yeah, if I would have spent more time, really crafting my stories, practicing my stories for all the different projects, tech challenges that I've done, I probably would have received an offer much sooner. I was just learning off of real time feedback, right? And that's something that you also preach as well. Every time I did an interview, I would go back and see, okay, what questions did I mess up on, or what questions did I answer correctly, right? That made the interviewer or the recruiter really happy, right? Really excited. So I took note of those things, and then each time I did an interview, I just got better and better and better, right? So, in the beginning, it was rough, man. I was bombing because I was just, I was freestyling, just trying to make it through brute force.
mhm.
And then but it forced me to really understand everything that I was doing and how I was responding to certain questions. And then after a while, the confidence started to come, right? The answers started to get more polished, right? Now I'm communicating as if, I've been in this for 10 plus
Wow.
years, right?
Wow.
Right. So yeah, man, even though it was rough in the beginning, I still appreciate those moments because it helped me become a stronger interviewer, which
Mhm.
ultimately led, right, to me getting an offer. But if I went back, that'd probably be the only thing I'd change is really implementing the rule of 100 so that I cut the time, that it would take to get
Okay.
an offer.
And a lot of people, I get DMs and people tell me it's hard for them to even get an interview with the system that we have here at the 1% University. Do you feel like it was kind of difficult to get interviews? I know you mentioned you were able to like achieve some interviews. Can you kind of talk about that?
With your program, that's getting an interview is going to be the least of your worries. All right, with everything that you have in your program, man, the interviews that I was getting where it became overwhelming, right? It became overwhelming, right? Because I was getting you know recruiters reaching out to me every other day. I probably had
They're going to you.
they're coming to me. Yeah, I wasn't reaching out to anyone. They're reaching out to me, in LinkedIn, other ways. And yeah, 2 to 3 recruiters will reach out to me every other day. I had interviews scheduled I was going to be 2 to 3 interviews scheduled every week. And these are new interviews, right? So not even counting, like not including like the second round, the third round that you have to include. So it got to a point where I was going on an interview every day, right? So, and again, that's why I was able to get the amount of reps and right the amount of practice I needed to continue to get better and better as
Mm.
time went on. But but to say that you know you're gonna have struggle getting interviews, and maybe someone outside of your program, but every student of yours know, we're trying to stop the interviews from coming in, right? Because it's so many, right? So yeah, that's something that you would not have to worry about at all.
Do you feel like you had to, do you feel like if someone was to go through the program, it's like everything is kind of done for them in terms of like because I made it very intentional. It's like they should not have to figure anything out. As long as they can go through the steps, they should see success. Do you feel like someone can go through this and it's like step one, step two, step three, like they don't have to figure that stuff out?
Yeah, 1000%. I think your program, not only the content is really, really good, high quality, but just going through the process from beginning to end, just, learning the material, preparing for interviews, making sure that you market yourself and brand yourself in a way to have, recruiters reach out to you, right? I think all of that is perfectly organized and laid out. And I mean, and again, even the additional, services that you have in the program to make sure that you are getting, interviews to go on. I mean, it's foolproof. I mean, if you can't succeed with that, I mean, the only thing left you would have to do is actually do the interview for them. All right. Besides you actually being in an interview, room with someone, you've literally given them everything they need to be successful.
Okay, okay. And where do you, knowing what you know now and the skill that you have, where do you see yourself in 12 months?
Man, 12 months.
Mhm.
Man, financially free.
Yes, sir.
That, or close to it. I know I definitely would have increased my income more, right? Within the next 12 months. Business will be where I want it as well. Business will be good for sure. Yeah, man, life is gonna be very beautiful in 12 months.
Okay. And how much money do you honestly feel like if you really wanted it, how much money do you think you can make with the skill set that you have now per year, per month?
At least 300,
Oh, wow.
at least
Okay.
1,000.
Say at least.
At least. At least
Okay.
that's
So
the most.
why do you say that?
Man, it's again, it goes back to the quality of your program, man. What you're learning, the experience that you're gonna get from it, and then all the the resources and services to put you in a certain position. It's I mean, that's at least 300 is like the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum. I expect all your students to do that, right? And I'm gonna be one of them very soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, get it like a range, just what you so 300 is the least. What about on the higher end?
And man, 600,
Okay. Okay.
3,000, 300 to 600,000, a year. Um, yeah, I don't want to say too much, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you could definitely take it up higher than that as well if you really wanted to.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. There's some people on those crazy numbers.
I'll just say, hitting $1 million ain't too far fetched.
It literally, it's actually insane the way people kind of go about this game, and it's crazy because it really just comes down to the skill. Being able to have a high income skill and to leverage that skill to be able to make more money in a unique way. But it really just comes down to the skill high income is cloud, and then how to be able to utilize that consistently to get recruiters reaching out, how to, land these offer letters and to scale to as well. But
Yep.
yeah, this skill changed my life, and you're about to like once you like 2 months in the game, you'll say like, "Yo, this is insane." You'll see why I was so freaking passionate about talking to you at the networking event. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like this joint is sweet. This dude, I'm crazy. Yeah, yeah, this is nuts. It is nuts. But
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm getting excited.
you see your laptop today?
Yeah, I received my laptop and everything I need for my work from home environment. Received it today. I signed all the the forms, the policies, and everything as far as the onboarding process. So yeah, 100% fully remote. Um, it's something that I really wanted. And actually with this company too, I signed a policy that actually allows me to use, AI or I want on the job, to make my to be as efficient as possible to be right. So I was very happy about that as well. So, you know, at this point, the sky's the limit.
Well, that's the starting point.
The starting point.
The universe is the limit, and it's unlimited. Okay. Right. So for, anyone trying to receive like a similar level of success as yourself, what's one thing they should avoid?
Um, I would say, and this probably goes for anything in life, right? I would say they would need to avoid distraction,
Mm,
right? Um, if you say that this is something that you want, you have to remain focused, right?
yes.
And you have to remove distractions, right? So there's a lot of things that I removed, right? From my personal life, sacrifices I've made to make sure that I have the time necessary that's required to be successful, right? Again, man, I think your program is so good that you know the person has to put in the work and make sure that they're focused to be successful, right? So I would say the one thing that they have to avoid is distraction, because if they're distracted, then they won't have the tunnel vision focus that they would need to be successful.
Okay. Can you give one piece of hard tactical advice to anyone who's listening that may be looking for some type of advantage or leg up?
Um, I think I kind of alluded to it at the beginning. Is just wanting to be above average, right? So for example, you have a certain number of projects, in the program, right? Once I got through them, I didn't just stop there, right? I went and found more projects, right, to work on, right? If everyone is putting in 2 hours every day, I'm gonna put in 4 hours every day, right? And you have a great community as well. So there's a lot of great resources in there to keep up with what's going on in the tech industry. I learned about a lot of tech conferences to go to. I learned about newsletters to subscribe to.
You didn't know anything about tech. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, right. So now, and there's people that I'm subscribed to and I follow on YouTube as well to continue the education, right? So
Yep.
you have to continue to put in that work outside of the program, right? So that you can be successful. And so again, I'm the type of person, like, I go hard, right? Once I go hard, I'm gonna immerse myself in what I'm focusing on. So now I'm all about tech now, right? So either whenever I'm on YouTube, I'm only watching tech videos now, right? I'm in my email, I'm reading about what Google did yesterday, right?
Is
So
is this like are you like some people, even me myself, I didn't actually know if I was gonna like tech. But once I started like understanding it, I started loving it.
yep.
Uh, you kind of feel similar? Like, do you feel like this is like, do you find this interesting, or are you kind of passionate a little bit about it?
I do, man. I do. I really, really do. Learning something new is always, always makes you feel good. It's always a great thing to learn something new. But but I'm actually really starting to develop a passion for this, right? I mean, I have it now, right? And going back to the interviews, they sense that.
Hmm.
The interviewers sensed that, right? One guy I was talking to, he had on a Kubernetes t-shirt, and we just spent 5 minutes just talking about where he got the shirt, what conference he went to, and then that led to um, you know, everything I know about it. And, for someone, watching this, they may not know what Kubernetes is yet, right? But once they go through the program and everything, they'll understand. But to answer your question, I definitely have a passion for this now. Again, I've immersed myself into the tech world. So now I'm keeping up with, you know, what all these big tech companies are doing now, how tech is constantly evolving, advancing, how it's changing. So I'm up to speed with all of that stuff now, man. And if I wasn't passionate about it, I wouldn't care. But because I am, like I look forward to learning what has changed or what happened, the following morning, So I'm definitely passionate about this, man. It's pretty cool stuff.
Okay. Okay. If there's anyone watching, this video and who's kind of like on the fence about joining the 1% University, what would you tell them?
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Like, what is it? Man, listen, if someone has to watch this two, three times, four times to until it finally like sinks in, then they might just have to do that, right? But it's a no-brainer, man. Again, the quality of your program, the community that you've been able to create, right? Develop in your program as well, all the resources. I mean, if someone like me that never heard of the cloud, that don't know anyone in IT, can go through your program and land a 140K offer, and I have another offer on the way soon. Like, this is a no-brainer, man. It's a no-brainer. Like if you're someone that's serious that wants to change their current situation, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, as they say,
Hmm.
it's a no-brainer. This is it's not even an option, right? Like you have to go through this. You have to join the program. Like, well, just why honestly, I mean, like, why? I'm curious. I'm like, why? What makes you say it's that degree? Um, like, yeah. So comparing like to other programs, so I know you said you mentioned that. Like, why do you feel like to that level of degree with this program? Yeah, I've been a part of other programs where, some people are in it some coaches are in it just to make money, right?
Okay.
They're not really invested in the success of their students, right? Where your program is completely opposite, right? You're very passionate about what you're teaching. I mean, you're still in the game as well, being successful, right? So you're not a coach that used to do this and now you're trying to, teach people how to do it. You're still actively in it, learning as well and making sure that we stay up to speed with everything that's going on. And you're literally making sure that we're going through the process. If we need help at any point, you're there to help us, right? And even with me receiving an offer, you're still following up with me. You still want to know how my first month on the job is going to be. You want to know how the second month of my job went. And that level of, you know, commitment, dedication, passion that you have basically really set this program apart from other programs I've been a part of, right? And so um, that's why I'm very, I guess, passionate about it as well. I've told a lot of people about it that I consider very serious individuals, and a lot of them are ready to join too. So,
Okay.
like I
Okay.
said, man, this program is a no-brainer for anyone that's very serious about changing their lives and really wanting to be successful.
Okay. You feel like there's just a lot of jobs in the market with cloud? It's crazy because I still get, I'm not even trying to get a job. I still have recruiters reaching out to me for like pretty decent salary. But you feel like there's still a lot of, you know, this this skill is in demand. You feel like, It's hot right now.
1000%. With the direction that the tech industry is moving into, especially with AI, cloud engineers, DevOps engineers are becoming even more important. Right. Because, we're the ones, we set the foundation for how, AI is going to be ran, right? How companies are going to utilize AI, how they're going to deploy applications and stuff like that. So, the job market is only going to increase, right? I think, the job market is in the trillions of dollars at this point, and it's continuing to increase every single year. So, and also on top of being someone that has the mindset of always going above and beyond, wanting to be, you know, uh, above average, you have to have an abundance mindset as well, right? So I'm always going to believe that there's more than enough jobs out there for everyone. I know there's more than enough jobs out there for me. And, lack of jobs, lack of interviews, those things don't even enter my mind, right? Because I know at the end of the day, I'm gonna land something.
Yes, sir.
And that's the mindset that everyone should have.
Literally, like I tell people, like they say, oh, because they say the job market is, it's not high. But I tell them, how many people do you think that got hired as a cloud engineer today? There's a lot. And why do you think you can't be one of those people?
Right.
Really, just a mindset thing. It's like if you don't think you can do it, that's true. If you think you can do it, that's true too as well.
Exactly. 100%.
And so the last thing I'm gonna say, when I start doing this, you're the first person that I'm asking this. But I want to give the floor to you and ask, like, for anybody watching this right now, what is like a 1% advice that you would give them? Something that will really move the needle forward in the direction that they're looking for, or just anything in general. Like, what's 1% advice you would give them?
Uh, in life or just related to the program?
It could be anything. It's up to you. The floor is up to you.
Oh man, 1%, man. I love that, by the way, man. The 1%, university.
Yes, sir.
Because the reason why I love that so much is because we want to be in the 1% in all aspects of life, right? So we want to make sure we're in the 1% when it comes to our finances. We want to make sure we're in the 1% when it comes to our health, right? We want to make sure we're in 1% when it comes to, you know, our, when it comes to like our social, and personal, professional relationships that we have with people, right? So, spiritually, right? We want to make sure that we're in the 1%. So to me, it's all about being the best version that you can be at all times. And again, it goes back to having that abundance mindset. It goes back to always wanting to be above average. I mean, that's literally what the 1% is, right? Being above average, being an elite company,
Mhm.
right? And if that's truly what you want to be, I would say you have to change your environment, make sure that you're around like-minded individuals. And there's something that was taught to me a long time ago. It's called the winner's diet.
Mm.
I don't know if you heard of that.
Mm-mm.
But this is gonna be my 1% advice right here.
You're teaching me.
So the winner's diet. So when we think of diet, we always think about, the type of food that we're putting into our body, right? But the winner's diet is much deeper than that. It's about not only what you're putting into your body, but also what you're putting into your mind, right?
Mm.
What are you consuming every day? What are you consuming all day, right? Because it all affects you subconsciously.
Mm.
Like the movies that you watch, the TV shows you're watching nightly, right? The people you hang around with, the conversations that you're having with them on a day-to-day basis, right? The music that you're listening to, right? All of these things affects your subconscious, and your subconscious affects how you actually behave, right? Your actions, right? So if you want to be in the 1% in all aspects of life, you have to have the winner's diet, right? So yeah, you have to have the winner's diet, right? Watch what you eat, watch what you consume. Whenever you're on social media, you know, the algorithm is gonna send you stuff that it thinks that you like, right? If you go on my social media, you're gonna see business videos.
Mm,
You're gonna see tech videos because that's what I'm consuming. That's a part of my winner's diet.
mhm,
But if you're on your social media and you're seeing, drama, um, you know, things that's not gonna take you to the next level, then you have to change your diet. And I'm not and it's not only the food, right?
yeah, yeah, just open up. Yeah, they'll tell you.
Exactly. So that's the 1% advice I would give because the winner's diet applies to life in general. And if you take what I'm saying very seriously, you'll see that your life will change very quickly,
Mm,
very quickly.
mm. Okay, the winners diet. If that sounds like it. Did you get that from a book? Sounds like a book.
No, no, I actually got it. I got it from someone that's very successful. I follow him, and that's what he attributes all of his success to, the winner's diet.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because
Yeah.
there's a certain identity that uh I'm pushing, and I want to start pushing a little bit more into the 1% University, the community.
Mhm.
As if you have certain qualities, if you have certain characteristics, you can really achieve anything. Even if you just have patience, consistency, resilience, discipline, like those four, you can really achieve anything you want. Uh, but it's really embodying those characters, those characteristics. What are some of the things you need to do to actually build those characteristics, those muscles, right? A 1%er, to think like a 1%er. What is that 1%er version of you? Like, I think to myself, the 1%, the 1% in terms of my goals, that person, that who he is, that identity, what would he do right now?
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, what do I need to learn? What do I need to invest? Who do I need to invest in? You know, how should I be thinking? And I'm operating on that because I'm trying to get to my goal, right? Because that's something you would do. And because it's really embodying the identity of the person that has everything that you want, because it's really just focusing on becoming that person, and everything kind of naturally attracts to you. Right. I'm the type of person that goes to the gym. Like, I'm not trying to go to the gym. I'm trying to become the person that does. Right.
Mhm. Yep.
That way, by default, right, I'm gonna go to the gym because I'm the person. So
Yeah.
it's same thing with money, same thing with relationships. I still have areas I need to grow in. I am actively working on that, and that's the tool that I use. Like, what is this person, the identity? What does he need to do now? To take action to get to where I'm trying to go. So the winners, the winners diet definitely. That's a different split. That's a different sauce. It's a different.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, it sounds like you got it already, man. It sounds like you are on the winner's diet.
I'm still on the journey too, man. It's like playing a video game. Yeah, I appreciate this is an amazing call. I appreciate the conversation. Um and yeah, man, there's gonna be a lot more growth, a lot more success. I already know that because I know where you are right now in your journey. I know the drive, and I know what's ahead of you. And yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. So you already know, if you have any questions, reach out to me. And yeah, man, let's continue to push the ball.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. And I definitely want to say, bro, if it wasn't for you, I'd still be in my old situation. And you definitely changed my life, man, for sure.
Thank you. We thank God. And honestly, man, I didn't do nothing because you made the decision. You made the commitment. I just had the blueprint. That's all I did. Is you did 95%. I did 5%, which is just showing you what to do. You liar, bet.
Mhm.
You just did it. So, man, just we thank God. We have God to thank for everything. But man, it's I'm excited for you because I know what's in front of you, and it's gonna be like, dang, you're gonna look back, you're like, dang, I don't even know why I was. You're gonna be like, damn, if I knew better, I would have done this quicker.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump on this 3:30 meeting. But as always, man, if you have any questions, reach out. And definitely want to circle back, even like after a couple of months, or even like a month or two, um, to see your experience. And then also, if you have any questions, you already know to reach out to me. So, yeah, man, we'll talk soon.
And thanks, man. Have a good one.
You too, man.